In this last lesson of Chapter 4 on plants, we are going to talk about how plants grow and how different plants grow in different ways. When conditions are right, a seed will sprout. Sprouting is sometimes called germination. Roots will grow out of the seed and grow downward. A tiny stem will grow out of the seed and grow upward. A plant embryo will not grow out of the seed if it is too cold or too dry for that kind of seed. The conditions a plant needs depends on its DNA. Different plants have different needs. How fast a plant grows is due partly to the environment and partly to its DNA, as you can see in the graphic organizer on this slide. If the environment has the best conditions, the plant will grow more quickly than if the soil is too dry or if the air is too cold. But even if the conditions are perfect, plants will grow at different rates because of their different DNA. Next, we're going to talk about tropisms. Plants often change the direction they grow in order to better meet its needs. For example, they may turn their leaves to face the sun, or their roots may grow toward a water source. When an onion sprouts, its stems grow upward and the roots grow downward, as shown in this picture on this slide. Tropisms are ways that plants change their direction of growth in response to the environment. Tropisms often occur when the environment changes the amount that cells grow on different sides of the plant. If one side of a stem grows faster or larger than the other side, the stem will bend. There are different reasons that cells will grow faster on one side of a plant than the other side. One reason is that different sides have different amounts of growth hormone. A growth hormone is a kind of chemical that affects plant growth. These chemicals cause more cells to grow in the plant. These chemicals can also make the plant cells grow larger. Plants make their own growth hormones. Cells may also grow to different sizes when the amount of water in them changes. Vacuoles are parts of plant cells that store water. We talked about vacuoles when we were talking about plants and animal cells. Vacuoles can fill up with water and make the cell large. This increase can bend a plant just as if the cell itself grew larger. Our first example of a specific tropism is called gravitropism. Gravitropism is the growth of a plant or plant part because of the pull of gravity. Gravitropism can occur in plant stems and roots. The roots tend to grow downward in the direction that gravity pulls. The stems tend to grow upward against the pull of gravity, as you can see in the illustration. Our next tropism is called phototropism. Phototropism is a plant's reaction to a source of light. A plant's stem may grow toward a light. Sometimes just a plant's leaves turn toward light. Look at the picture of the plant. What do you think would happen if you turned the plant in the opposite direction? The last example of a tropism is called a thigmotropism. Thigmotropism is a plant's growth in response to touching an object. Thigmotropism can happen in stems or in roots. Stems of vines will often grow around posts, fences, and trellises. This helps to support the vine so it can grow high to get sunlight. Roots may bend to grow away from rocks and hard soil. Test yourself. We are going to name tropisms. So take a guess, and I will reveal the answer. If you guessed gravitropism, you were correct. You can see that the roots are growing downward. In this picture, take your guess. If you guessed phototropism, you are correct. The plant is growing towards the source of light. Take your guess. If you guessed phototropism again, you were correct. The plant is growing towards the candle burning or the source of light. This one is going to trick you. If you guessed both gravitropism and phototropism, you were correct. The plant is growing upward against gravity and toward the source of light, while the roots are growing with the pull of gravity downward. Name that tropism. If you said thigmotropism, you are correct. The plant is growing around the trellis for support. Fill in your notes pages.